Okay, so thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here to present about the Brazilian contribution to the European Strategy for Particle Physics. So what's that? The ESPP is a community-driven process that is coordinated by CERN and defines the long-term scientific priorities and future projects for particle physics in Europe. So it's used to help in guiding decisions on major facilities, research programs, and also international collaborations. It was established 20 years ago, and it's updated every 7 years. So there was already 2 updates, and we are now in the process of the 3rd update, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So the process for the update of ESPP is a very complex one. So here is a schematic view of that. It started with a physics preparatory group appointed by CERN, and they started to ask inputs from the community, and these inputs were analyzed by these physics preparatory groups and discussed on an open symposium that I will talk later. And after all these discussions, there was a preparation of a briefing book that is published on arXiv. And it was published just last week. So that's the timeline for the update of ESPP. It started last year in March, actually, but only in September that these preparatory groups were appointed by CERN. And our inputs were expected on these 2 dates. The first one was in March, and we did that. And the second one, which was a final one, was just submitted today, this morning. And I'm going to talk about how was this process here in Brazil. Okay, so before going to our actions, I would like to just highlight what was asked to us as national input. So there were some guidelines to be followed, and there were questions to be answered on this document. So the first question was about which is the preferred next major collider project for CERN. The second one was about what are the most important elements. And the third question was about what CERN should do if any other big collider would be built outside Europe. And also there were questions related to research and development in accelerators, and also alternative questions in case the preferred one is not feasible. So to prepare this input, committee was appointed by RENAFI and also by our National Institute of Science and Technology that we call INCT, CERN Brazil. That's the name of the people that was appointed as this committee, and we were coordinated by Leandro de Paula. We prepared this first draft, and we circulated via email by all the Brazilian high energy physics community. And after getting inputs and updating this document, we have submitted to ESPP and also on arXiv. So this is available on this link. There was also an open symposium in Venice. This happened in June, and we had 2 of our committee that joined there in person. That was Gustavo Silveira and also Leandro de Paula, and they could discuss our inputs and also see what was proposed by other countries. So to analyze all the inputs received by CERN, they created several working groups to analyze several aspects of this document. So I will just show briefly what was discussed there concerning the inputs from several countries, the national inputs. The most voted collider was the FCC, the Future Circular Collider, as option A. For the second question about if any other collider is built outside Europe, there was some answers. For example, if Japan proceeds with the International Linear Collider, several countries is still supporting the FCC. But in case of China proceeds with its collider, there was no unanimous view. So There were some inputs suggesting that we should have directly the FCC as a hadron-hadron collider and not as an electron-electron collider. And as a second option that was also asked, there was several answers and there was no consensus. So there was also a working group that was doing several comparisons between different projects and proposals of colliders and accelerators. And the ones that were analyzed was the ones that were including their physics reach. So it's just 7 colliders here. Since I don't have so much time to talk about all of them, I put some slides on backup to discuss all the difference between these colliders. But this was also published by CERN last week. Okay, so concerning the new national inputs, we were asked again by CERN for a new input which are more precise and direct. Only answered these 3 questions, so this should be an input with 1 to 3 pages and answer directly what's our preferred large-scale post-LHC accelerator for CERN, and also what is your preferred alternative if the preferred option is not feasible or not competitive. So to prepare this input, what we did, we prepared a survey, we used a Google form, and we circulated it to the community. And we also had several discussions in meetings, for example, our workshop of INCT that happened in August, and also our spring meeting that happened in October. So this was widely discussed in our community. So I will now just quickly show a few answers that we got in our survey. So one of the questions was about the FCC. So the question was if you agree that FCC should be the next project supported by Brazil in the context of ESPP. And 85% of the people that answered said that yes, we should support FCC. We also asked about concrete plans of the groups to get involved in FCC. And most people answered that they want to participate in the physics colliders, as we already do at LHC with similar topics. But we also had several answers about research and development in detectors and instrumentation, as you can see here, and also in software and computing. And concerning Plan B, we asked if FCC is not a viable option, what would Brazil support? And most of the answers were related to the linear collider or any linear collider facility at CERN, like the CLIC, for example. But we also had several people answer that they would support Moon Collider. And we asked again, what are the concrete plans of the groups to get involved in this Plan B? And we see again several people thinking about doing data analysis, but also research and development in detectors, instrumentation, software, and computing, as for the Plan A. And we asked about the criteria to consider more important to define the Plan B. And the most voted was the physics potential, but also the costs and feasibility was highly voted. Okay, so we have prepared this new Brazilian contribution as a new input. We emphasized the support for FCC. We put as Plan B linear collider facility or compact linear collider. And also express Brazilian potential interest on Moon Collider. And I have put more details about our text on the backup slides because the text that we submitted in March was also updated after the survey that we circulated. On this survey, we also put some sessions where people could include inputs for the previous document where we had more pages and are available on archive. So what we are now, we are on the second submission that we did today, as I said before. And in December, we'll have a meeting at CERN to have this drafting, which I think maybe Leandro is going to join. And finally, I think I went too fast, but finally, I would like to say that Brazil is taking part of this important process, which is an excellent step for the country, showing its active engagement and positioning within global particle physics community. In name of the committee, we also would like to say thanks to all that contributed to this process, answered our survey, or participated in the meeting to discuss this document. And that was all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Cristiane. Beautiful seminar, and thanks for this, a lot of work you did this one year.
We started the process in December. I think the nomination of the committee was in December last year, and then since then we are working on this text.
Beautiful thing. Questions?
Can I say one thing? Again, in our shop, we manage the 10 associate member states and all the non-member states. And I want to say that what you have done is an excellent step for the country, showing its active engagement and positioning within the global particle physics community. No, really, this was great. Because that you see an associate member state, which has a lot of young people at CERN, who are the ones who are going to work on the next collider, who all together have written the contribution, because that's your future. I mean, what do you want more? So this has been remarked, I have to say. And thank you for all the old people like us who have organized that. And also, Leandro, is quite an honor for Brazil. This is what also the Chilean said before, is that once you become an associate member state, you have a seat at the table. And now, you all know what's the result. But it is also quite momentous for Brazil after you have been just asked to join staff for like 50 years. Now you are going to be in the room where a decision is going to be made, what is going to be the next machine, and the ones who are going to use it, they have expressed an opinion. That's exactly why we've done all these chaos in the last 10 years to enlarge CERN, because that's exactly what one wants to see. So the work Cristiane, you and the other young person have done is exactly what we hoped would happen. It's actually happening. I know we still don't have the MNO money, but all the things that you would see a normal country doing, in Brazil, in like 18 months, so everything is actually happening. So we are quite impressed. So again, thank you and congratulations.
Okay, thank you. Just a recent news. China has decided to postpone his decision on the collider and for 5 years. And informally, it was said that they will wait to see what happened to FCC, and in case that FCC goes ahead, they are willing to collaborate with CERN in this, but that's informal. Formal decision was to postpone for 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations on all this work. Just a curiosity. I think on slide 19, I think you showed that high energy LHC was an option for the FCC, I think. So my question is, the high energy LHC, I think I saw high energy LHC. So my question is it still an option on the table?
Probably no, but sorry.
It's formally yes, is a proposal, but there is not strong support, I think, because you have to build a new accelerator to have that. So you not just use LHC, you have to add another accelerator and then have the collision between some particle from LHC and the other from the, so it's expensive and take time.
More questions to Cristiane? Okay, thanks again